Sometime in the 1970s and 80s, when I would go to athletic events, which I did frequently, I would pick up a piece of memorabilia from a team or a player with no intent of ever collecting. And about 15, 20 years ago, I started to collect a little more and took an interest in the history of sports, baseball in particular. And I felt that memorabilia and pictures were a great way to remember the old days. Baseball is all about history. When I was looking for people who athletically had done great things. Because I have a wide interest in sports, I pretty much knew most of the old-time great players and the contemporary great players in all sports. You see a lot of emphasis here on Babe Ruth and Yankee memorabilia, and that's because they have won so many more championships and had so many more great players than other teams. So if there's a part that, and that's a bias for me because I admire them, baseball is all about history. And so that was what got me to start collecting. And if you look at the pictures throughout this exhibit, you will see the dress of people, the lifestyle of people, and people like Babe Ruth who magnified the importance of it. I'm hoping that this exhibit, not only appeals to those of us who enjoy the history, but maybe some younger people who can appreciate the achievements of all these people. For me personally, I have high regard for those who work hard at their craft and are successful in all walks of life. Sports happens to be something I'm interested in, but that would carry over into science or anything else. I have an equally great interest in art itself. And I'm very interested in Impressionistic art, have a small collection of that. The Sluggers by Neiman, for me, is special. It's spread throughout the exhibit here. I feel like it's done very well, as are the horse racing pictures. It's not mine, but there's a Muhammad Ali down there by Neiman, which is a beautiful, and who was a greater hero to some people than Muhammad Ali, those who struggle. And so I'm a CPA by trade, which means I work hard with numbers and fight with the government and do that kind of thinking 8 to 5. And I find that art is a great change for me and gives me a little different perspective on life. So when the government beats me up, I can go home and have a glass of wine and look at a Renoir. Doesn't seem so bad. Sports cross all lines, and it does, because the poorest person can be an ex-athlete and love sports, as well as the richest person. And so, yeah, sports definitely crosses economic lines, there's no question. And for those of people who love sports and don't have a lot of means, not just this exhibit, but watching a World Series game, they are just as knowledgeable and just as intent and just as embraced by the culture as the guy sitting, in his man cave with lots of money. Yeah, that is one of the attractions that sports does. I want this exhibit to be a place for people who can't go to the playoffs in the Bulls or the Halls of Fame and all that I've been fortunate to go to. You would hope they would come in and be able to soak some of that up. Not everybody likes the small 1920s and 30s pictures of people, but I hope some people can get some enjoyment out of this. I'm sure some of the younger people are going to say, who is that? And she's done a nice job of putting some things to explain who this person might be. And we will be interested to see what the interest level is of the various age groups here. Hopefully, I know the older people will get some enjoyment. Hopefully the younger people will a little bit. Somebody like you might say, who is that?